Hello, what is poppin' YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here. I am bringing you guys the return of an old deck, and it's going to be a little bit of a combo tutorial combined with a little bit of a combo montage. I'm talking about World Chalice Orcust here. This deck will be nice and tied together in a nice little bow in quite a few months because of some new cards. I'm talking about this card. This card right here ties both of them together even better than what we had before, because before, if you have started off with World Chalice engine, you can only get to the Orcust engine through like a Curious Send or through a Sold Summon Armageddonite Send, which either or was kind of bad. I mean, it was, but it's like there wasn't really too much like broken stuff during that time either. So yeah, anyway, this right here is something else, because this girl gets to our cup, and our cup also can turn into this girl, because this girl requires an either Orcust or a World Legacy monster to make, and World Legacy World Chalice fits the bill. And because of that, you can tie both archetypes together very, very neatly, as well as still kind of do a lot of the same things you were able to do before. I know a lot of you guys have seen my past World Chalice Orcust video where I'm talking about like just resolving the World Chalice is like 6 negates and stuff like that, which honestly, you can still do it. In fact, actually resolving cup results in even more interruptions now. Just cup by itself, I mean, this is the first combo I'm going to end up showing you guys. I'm going to slow it down a little bit so I can kind of explain things in detail. But as you can see, the cup accesses the girl, which turns into Synchros when the World Chalice floats, and you know, she's an effect monster. She can go into Galatea. She can banish Galatea to summon herself back. She can be used as Exceed material, so you can't slap a ding down on top of her, but you can use her as link climbing fodder for things like Rusty Bardiche, because Rusty Bardiche is like the third thing that ties everything together, because Rusty Bardiche creates a vanilla monster if you do not have one. If you do not have any unexpected dies, you don't have any primordial cards to summon vanillas and whatnot, and you just got a cup in your hand, Orcust cards can just lead to a Rusty, which can set a Shade Brigandine. Remember, that's an old card that we used to play. And yeah, Shade Brigandine is back in action and in full force, ready to turn into an Imduck and just basically just full combo. So anyway, so the Rusty Bardiche allows us to create quite a bit of interactions within itself, right? I know a lot of people have already seen the new Orcust cards, and they're kind of doing like the typical IP Masquerada and the Gearsu, the Link 4 Gearsu up top, so they can link it off and it can turn into another interruption in the graveyard, right? And bare bones, if you resolve the Mech Knight Orcust Gearsu, you got 5 interruptions, right? However, there is entirely too many hand traps being played, and yeah, that's going to cause a lot of problems. So anyway, we're going to go and stop right here. What are we looking at? I know this may not seem like much because there's a, you know, only like a few bodies on field, but in actuality, this is a lot of interactions. Again, this is just from resolving the cup. Even if you were to just start your turn with a Cast Your Unicorn, tribute for the cup, you're gonna make this basically. And what this is 7 interactions. Now, if you did get to the cup through the primordial stuff, that's just 8 interactions just off of the cup alone, right? So you got the whatever you're going into with IP is going to be an interruption, as well as Lib when she's linked off, right? So that's already 2, right? The third one is going to be in the form of the Gearsu stealing a monster. The fourth one is going to be through Rusty's effect to pop. The fifth one is going to be the Gearsu's effect to send. The sixth one is going to be off the Fog Blade, and the 7-1 is going to be off of the counter trap that Lib set. So whatever IP goes into, whether it's SP, if it's SP, it could be potentially 8. If it is Firewall Singularity, which is what I prefer to go into, then it's still going to be about 7 interruptions. The Singularity is just a lot harder to deal with because it just has proactive ways to just bounce cards, and the attack gain is permanent and whatnot. So yeah, Rusty plus Dingirsu is still very, very potent. Getting Fog Blades is still really good. Opening Phantom Knights isn't even that bad anymore thanks to the Link 1. Just being able to get rid of them and for discards and get their effects off. So yeah. Anyway, we are going to go on to the next example here of these 1-card combos. Alrighty, and here we are with our second example. This is going to be featuring Mech Knight, Orcust, Girsu. And why this is definitely going to be the best starter from this point. I mean, obviously, if you were playing Orcust as a pure deck, we know that Girsu is the best starter, right? However, in the World Chalice engine, if you want to go ahead and meld those two together, you most certainly can with just the Girsu itself. You will see why the Galatea, you'd rather be searching World Legacy World Chalice about 8 times out of 10 over the Babel. I mean, you can get it with Galatea, and you already have your counter trap covered in the form of World Legacy Sorrow, right? So oftentimes you're going to be adding the cup, right? And every other time, if you already, let's say you already had the cup, then you will probably add the Babel anyway, because the Ib Synchro can access World Wand and whatnot. And yeah, you got everything tied together. Galatea can set crescendo. So let's go ahead and get started. Rusty Bardiche is going to come in clutch here, and you're going to see, right? Because here's the thing about this Link 1. That Link 1 does not have the same restriction as all the other old Orcus, right? Meaning, if you use that effect to banish an Orcus from grave to summon it, it doesn't Dark Lock you. Which is so sweet. It's so important that it does not Dark Lock you and whatnot. Because here's the thing, right? You can go in pretty far without Dark Locking yourself. I mean, you can Dark Lock yourself pretty early as long as you've already summoned your monsters that you want to summon with the Chalice monster, and as long as you summoned your Ib Synchro already. There will be times where you don't need to, and therefore you can kind of Xenolock yourself. That's kind of cool. The Dark Xenolock, when it comes to this hybrid, is a little bit more susceptible to Nib, meaning like you can't full combo and just hold the World Chalice like on field like you would normally be able to and still full combo, because if you're Dark Lock, you can't summon things like Lee, you can't summon Guard Dragon, you can't summon Ib Synchros and things like that. So that is definitely something to be mindful of. And yeah, so this is like an early combo. Succession probably shouldn't have summoned Rusty. I mean, I probably could have easily summoned something else and made better use of it, but you know, the Rusty providing an extra pop isn't a bad thing either. And you know, I could have probably brought back, let's say, Galatea at a later point and contributed to making a Firewall Singularity, because Singularity in this deck is very strong, right? You're often going to get a double bounce. It's a dark monster, so even if you Dark Lock yourself, it is something you can still go into. And not only that, it's not just an inborn piece, but it is also something you can go second with break boards. It gets really big, and it revives Cyberse monsters. I mean, the only Cyberses we realistically have are IP and Lib, right? You can bring back IP for future follow-up turns to be able to go ahead and do what you need to do. So I've done a lot of talking. This firewall, all this stuff that we're doing, all this interaction we're doing, I'll end up putting up top somewhere how many interruptions it is, what they are, and whatnot, right? So this is all from just the Mech Knight Orcust Girsu. Again, the Galatea being able to search our World Legacy World Chalice, and we can climb into Rusty Bardiche to get to a vanilla monster, is chef's kiss. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for me. This is just 2 one card combos to show what the new cards bring to this deck in terms of capabilities, right? But I'm gonna have a whole bunch more ready. Not to worry, I already got them done. I just need to I just kind of want to do those a little bit differently, if that makes any sense. So, you know, like I said, this is like I have like 12 combos. This is with uninterrupted and with hand traps. Some of them have even 2 to 3 hand traps being dropped, and this stuff kind of plays through hand traps like butter, right? Obviously, like Droll, well, not Droll isn't even an issue. I actually have combos where I drolled myself under a Food Loss, giving my opponent 2 draws and whatnot. But it's like Lancia and stuff. Like Bestials aren't even really that much of an issue anymore, so that's good to know. Anyway, guys, you guys stay tuned, and I will definitely have the next video up within either the next day or the day after, depending on how long it takes for me to get these edits going and how I want to structure it. So, yes, combo tutorial. Again, this is just to show how to structure these combos, what the typical game plan kind of is. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be ready for round 2, and I am signing out.